Hendo.
That is all. We had a chat with Hendo. This was a good one, actually.
Yeah, no.
No, it was a good one. It was a longer one.
It was nearly felt like it was going into a full-blown podcast because we wanted him on here for ages, but, you know, he's a hard person to catch.
Because he's so fast. 100% he'll be on for a longer form episode, but we had a quick chat about his mentality, his drive to progress, competing in speed and skill, and also
some hint of style.
Yeah, a little bit of style in there as well. So enjoy. All right, welcome back. Another guest. The fastest man on the planet, David Nelms.
Fuck's sake.
No, it's Joe Hendo, really.
You finally got me.
We finally got him.
For 1 minute.
Yeah,
you just had to make...
Wait, did Dylan say 1 minute?
Yeah, that's what he said to me.
Oh, no, we're doing a few minutes.
Oh, okay.
We're
Right.
having a chat. Yeah, it's not 60 seconds.
You just had to force Sport Parkour League to force me to come in here.
Yeah. Got you locked in Vancouver. Oh, how you doing?
Yeah, good.
You looking
really
snazzy,
good.
looking dapper.
Thank you very much.
Good focus on the athlete, on the aesthetics.
Yeah, I like to try and look different when I compete. Like, I don't like wearing sportswear. I don't know why. Some shallow shit, but I don't know.
Yeah. There's extra levels to it, aren't there? People are gonna be like, oh, well, I like him because he dresses different. So
Character.
Yeah.
Movie of my life.
So obviously you're really, really fast, and you do really, really well, but you're also really, really good at skill, which we kind of we didn't forget about. But we were talking about Tim. We were talking about how fast you are, and then we suddenly were just like, oh yeah, he's actually in the final of skill as well.
Yeah.
So that's been a new. I mean, that was last year you did skill, right?
Yeah. Last year, I kind of competed at Apex International last year on a whim, like because the skill challenges looked so fun.
Yeah.
And then got through, ended up getting second, and then was qualified for NAPC. So then came third at NAPC. And now I'm like going into the finals, tied first with Tim and Brody in skill.
Which is fucking crazy. And are you tied first or just first for speed?
I suppose tied first. I came first yesterday on the semi-finals, and Brody came first the day before.
But I don't think is it cumulative?
But right now it's so this final speed is like everything else is disregarded. Whoever wins this.
Yeah,
so me and Brody came like first and second both days.
Yeah.
But if Charles Pujard comes first today, he wins. Yeah.
That makes sense. And you're feeling good about the course?
I'm feeling good about the course. I really like the course. It's like very cool. There's like a lot of difficult bits, but not just difficult, but difficult that also look impressive, which I think is like the best kind of speed course, where the athletes are struggling and the audience is appreciating, like, wow, that looks hard.
I actually heard them talking about prepping the skill comp this morning because they changed a few things around, and one of the factors they were thinking about was the aesthetic of how it looks, because at the end of the day, if a clip's going to get shared on social media, which makes their competition look good, like, it helps if it's sort of impressive, rather than some weird techie low down thing or
tucked away in
a weird corner, like
good, aesthetically pleasing part of the gym for sure.
For every competition that's been organised now, like the organisers are trying to hit this balance between making it good for the athletes, making it like a fair and a competition that properly tests their ability, but also something that's good for spectators, because you've got to think like everyone is now trying, like anyone who's involved in competition wants competition to get as big as possible. That way the sport grows and there's more opportunities for everyone. But to do that, like a sport is nothing without people watching it.
Exactly.
So the better we can make it for spectators, the more it's likely to grow and the more opportunities we'll have.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the whole thing kind of it needs money to run, and money comes from spectators, and therefore you don't want it looking shit. Like, there's a reason our motion was in Santorini, because it looked really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, so obviously you've won speed a number of times now around, loads around the world, and you've won here. You've never you've never won a skill comp. Which one?
No.
Which one do you want more? Like, because I guess for one, you're kind of you're reclaiming your title, and like you're reassuring the audience that you're kind of.
It would be quite weird thinking about that, actually, if you didn't win speed but you won skill.
Yeah.
Such a turnaround.
Yeah.
Like, would it feel more of an achievement if you won skill, do you think?
Do you know what? I think so.
Yeah.
I feel more pressure to win speed,
Yeah.
So like I feel a lot more relaxed going into the skill competition. I think it might be partly just because of the format. Like skill feels more like training.
For
Speed
sure.
is a lot more like just rah.
Yeah.
So does that mean you've enjoyed like training skill?
I love skill competitions. I like enjoy every second of it. Like you can probably tell. Like for speed, my face is usually
focus.
gritted teeth. For skill, like I've usually got a smile on my face. Like I'm just like enjoying it.
Well, especially in like the earlier rounds, it was like, I mean, Tim completed his rapidly, and you weren't far off his heels, but you weren't doing it together. But there were moments where you were basically with each other and kind of supporting each other to a degree. And it's just training, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's training that's just going to be
someone else has spotted the challenge and then just said, "Oh, do you think you could do that?"
Exactly. It feels like that. Except the challenges are just like way harder than anything you'd normally be casually doing. But I think actually I'd probably get a bigger sense of achievement from winning skill than speed, even though the pressure is less. Just because speed is something that I looked at like getting good at a while ago, and then obviously like saw success in. Skill is something that like is new to me, and I feel like it's something that I've only been able to be a contender in recently because of like progressions I've had. So it's almost like even the fact that I'm able to like consistently now finalize in skill competitions is like a big
testament
sort of,
to your kind of
to my progression like in the last couple of years.
You've been putting in work, right? Like you're working out, you're doing programs, you're training a lot. Like you're not exactly fucking half-assing this. So it's a testament that you've put in that work.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Tim was saying that he kind of reckons that there's a level of when you do your skill challenges where you brute force your mentality in terms of just like, I am going to commit. And I think I see that as well. Like I said, I've watched you on some of them, and there's elements where you obviously there's a sort of skill and there's a challenge, you have to do a certain thing, and it gets to a stage where basically like, I don't know, big Grand Prix or something, and it's like the final bit of it.
Yeah.
And it's basically just like, you obviously have that one chance, and there's some determination in your eyes, and you're like, fucking boom, like, and then you get there, like, and I think you're very good at like getting yourself into that zone of, I am going to commit and I'm not going to half-ass this.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting because I like observe a distinct change in my mindset when I compete as opposed to when I'm just training casually or whatever. Like it seems like pressure can make some people crumble. Like some people are incredible athletes and then you see them in a competition environment and it's like confusing almost, like why are they not doing well? I think for me it seems to enhance me. Like something about the environment of pressure just puts me into a mindset. I just seem to respond very well to it. And like you say, I will really just like commit to things that I wouldn't usually just commit to immediately like that. Like it feels like I can do the whole process I usually do when I'm training, like way quicker in my head, like 100 times quicker, and get to the point where I'm ready to commit within like a few seconds rather than a few minutes kind of thing. And,
do you think that is I don't want to say healthy because it's not like it's unhealthy, but I feel like if you had that mentality at every single challenge on the street, like you're training, if you did that 100 times a day and you're doing hard training on the street, I don't think it's sustainable, right?
I wonder, because I mean physically obviously like I'm sure I couldn't keep up doing the kind of challenges we do here physically every day, but in terms of like having the mentality I do in competition during everyday training, like it feels kind of sendy, but it's not like I've never like I've never hurt myself in a competition.
No, well I think also they're designed so that there's not really a huge element of, you don't need to send it. It requires too much skill and calculation. Like it's not just like jump really fucking fast.
No, exactly.
Well, there's never really just a normal running for it, is there? So I don't think there is any challenge that you can just chuck.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Hard to chuck something because there's normally components to it.
Yeah, you can't just chuck. But it surprised me seeing you. I've noticed you improving your laches, but then seeing competition, it's just like you don't strike me as a lache person.
Yeah.
You know what? There's with athletes, you know them for laches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm 100% like haven't been one of those, and like laches have always been just a massive weakness of me. Like we don't have any gyms in Brighton or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's literally down to me, Tim, Ed, and George.
When you went to Apex?
Yeah, we went to.
I thought so.
We went to San Francisco. Trained at the with the like squadron athletics guys.
Yeah.
So Daryl Stingley, basically like just orchestrated this month. We were calling it Monk Month, and the crucible names that we've ascribed to it. And it was a month with the intention of progressing. It was very interesting, like, because normally parkour training, I find it's kind of just based around like sporadic, like, oh, what are people doing today?
It's like enjoyment
out,
and progression on the side.
Yeah. Whereas this was like, what happens if we go somewhere that is the best environment to learn a specific set of movements? So for me, I was like, I know I'm weak with laches, I want to get better at them.
Yeah.
Like Apex NorCal is probably like the best place in the world you could have to learn how to do laches and get better at them. Daryl Stingley and Tim Champion are two of the best people to learn from. And it was just a month with the goal of getting better. Like,
and you did, yeah.
And it fully worked. Like I've gone from I couldn't lache, like I'd never done a level lache pre in my life.
Yeah.
And now, like, I mean,
you can do them. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do them.
Because that's a lache to dive arm jump, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fucked.
Yeah, I leveled up a lot in that month, even like line connections and stuff like that. I feel like I became just just leveled up as a athlete.
So you enjoy that? Was that? Did you feel like that was,
yeah.
You'd go again, right?
Yes,
I mean,
going again.
Days,
it was at a weird time in my life. Like I went through a stage in the last year where I got like probably the lowest like motivation I've ever had with parkour. But we can talk about that in like a longer podcast maybe. But even so, and that was almost at the like apex of that low. So like the trough.
Jazzed you back into it.
But like even being in that mindset, like it was just an incredible month. Like and just the feeling of training with those guys in that environment, like waking up every day, eating breakfast like together as a unit, and going training together. Literally only purpose every day is just to train like with the boys. It's so sick.
That's sick.
I want to train now.
So you've made whisperings of kind of saying like, oh, should I compete in style? Like, and you actually did it at Team Catalyst, right?
Yeah.
Is that something that you consider sort of doing? I mean, taking more seriously, or is it just a bit of fun? Like,
I think like it's right now it's kind of like the ones like in Catalyst and stuff, it's kind of felt like a bit of fun.
Yeah.
But in doing them, I've kind of felt like this is actually maybe something that I could get better at.
Yeah.
And that I would like to. I found it very enjoyable. Like again, more relaxed and enjoyable than speed. Like you have more time to enjoy yourself in a style line.
Yeah.
And just as the challenge, like I feel a little bit like I have maybe reached. Almost like squeezed speed for everything it's got, if that makes sense. Like I don't get like it almost feels like I've hit a point of diminishing returns with speed competitions in that I do feel disappointed in myself if I don't win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if I win, it's kind of just like the first time I won NAPC, I went from like 2,000 followers to 10k, was asked to join Storm.
And now nothing
made like quite a considerable amount of money for me back then.
Yeah.
And now it kind of feels like, oh well, I've got enough money to last like, you know, the rest of my time here.
Yeah.
And like no one really cares that I won.
Like, that's the thing, like if you win speed tonight, we'll all be happy, we'll all give you handshakes and things, but your life does not change.
No.
I mean, it could. Somebody might be watching the live stream and might go, hey, I'm Nike, I'm going to sponsor you.
Sure.
There are these freak things that can happen, but it's, And
I obviously see some value in it or I wouldn't be doing it, but the competing and skill at the same time has given me that extra, like, I feel like I'm challenging myself and I feel like I'm doing something with more value to myself, and adding style, like the idea of being able to compete in all three just as a challenge for myself is like very appealing to me.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking about doing is, it kind of was just going to be too tight with timings of competitions for this season. So what I'm thinking is have style as a bit of a focus for I never really trained with competition in mind, but like even so recently I've been getting more into flips and things like that.
Well, I think with style it's easier to like just train connectivity, I think, for yourself, but it aids competition anyway.
Yes, exactly.
Because you're like, oh, I've made a nice line, because you don't want to do a single flip. So you do a nice line with nice connection, and you're like, oh, well, that could fit in a competition.
Yeah. So I'm planning to go to Art of Motion, and I'll try my hand at the qualifiers there.
Sick.
And then I think next year for NAPC the plan will be to compete in all three events.
Yeah.
Triple threat.
Yeah, no, we don't have a male triple threat. Like, And I think we could, like, there could be someone who it is. So there's potential for it.
Got to get my double twists and double flips.
I feel like if you were to just do some mad pop, like obviously you get loads of flips and up and down, but if you did some disgusting stuff, like parkour related.
Yeah.
But it's like that Alex Shower thing where, I mean, he would dominate our emotions, not win, but he'd do incredibly well.
Yeah.
And he'd do some flips, but like everything else, the flow, because flow is the highest reward thing here.
Yeah.
And then there's like obstacle, like using the obstacles well, and then there's execution and difficulty.
Yes.
So technically, your flips don't have to be to the highest level as long as you're
But sure, do you reckon is it marked down as difficulty if you were to do something a very difficult like running pre?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So then surely.
And that's my thoughts. Like I realistically, like, there's no way I see myself matching the sort of level of like gym free runner skill that, like, you know, when you see people like Max and Ed like doing triple twists and all this, and like bar tricks, like the craziest, like they're at the highest level of that style of movement. But like realistically, I can potentially see me matching a score by doing like some difficult parkour type stuff that other people wouldn't be doing,
and it's just
flowed, and then if I can like get some not top of the range flip movements, but like fairly high, so like just double twists and double somersaults and stuff, like then potentially could put together a line that would be on matching difficulty.
And I totally think there's scope for that. So
it's an interesting challenge for sure.
Yeah.
You seem to thrive off just like improving.
Yeah.
Which is so good. It's so sick.
Fucking sick.
I think that is my main like motivation for most things. Is like
it just feels good though, doesn't it?
Everything,
like
I feel like you're happiest when you are progressing at something, right? Like when you achieve things. Like,
well, that's that. I mean, ever since I got into parkour, I've always just had this like parkour is all about progression, and therefore if you don't echo that in the rest of your life in other areas, like I feel like now you can feel it through parkour so evidently, because you're like, oh, this is increased, or this I've got better here. And then if you don't see that in other areas, you're just like, well, why not? Like, I should be working on this. So
I think it can I think it's ultimately a good thing. I think like that mentality, I wonder sometimes, I was like, what would it be like if I was just happy, like
being content,
because you hear different things and like different philosophies and stuff like that, of like some philosophies are like, strive to be the best you can be, like always be looking for like fulfillment comes from doing things that are meaningful and all this. But then you have other philosophies that are kind of like external environment means nothing, like external, you should just be content in yourself. And it's like I feel like I'm not someone who can be content like being still almost, like
I struggle with it a lot, like a lot, because I just want to progress, but then it stresses me, and then you read stuff to kind of learn about how to de-stress, and a lot of it says that, like, that you should be just content within yourself, and then you're like, but I want to do this,
but I want to achieve as well. It's hard to,
but I guess you should be content with yourself if you don't, but then you still do.
I think what I've kind of my thoughts on it are that you should aim to achieve, like have goals, and that should be what gives you meaning in life, is achieving those goals, but be sure to enjoy the process. Especially because the goals are so impermanent. Like as soon as you, like if I think about my goals when I don't know, like probably my goals like 4 years ago, whatever, were to like qualify for NAPC. I imagine if that was still my goal now. Like as soon as I hit the goal, it wasn't my goal anymore. It's like I get a fleeting bit of like, yes, I did it, but then it's on to the next.
The grass is always
so
greener,
if you don't enjoy the process of it, then you're constantly going to be just unhappy, apart from fleeting seconds within years of life. And so it's like you've got to have goals, but be sure to recognize, like appreciate the process of gaining them, not just the actual gaining them. And I feel like if you can get that, then you should be happy, like most of the time,
for sure.
Like even when you're stressed, you're like, but this is part of it, and I'm kind of happy I'm working towards something.
I'm stressed, this is all happening, but it's part of the bigger picture. So you got to kind of keep an eye on that bigger picture, like Awesome. All right, well, we should wrap this up, and you should fucking
I should get warmed
ready
up.
For skill. All right, well, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully all goes well.
A longer episode awaits.
Oh, please do.
See you later, guys.
See you later. Bye.